how's it going? Matthew Bailey Media here, and welcome back to another TV show review. And like I said before in the last video that was connected to this, we are now finally going to be reviewing season 2 of a really iconic Netflix show, and that is, of course, season 2 of Wednesday. Yep, that's correct. We are now in season 2 of Wednesday, which I will, like I said in the first video, the first season, what I gotta admit, was pretty crazy. I'm surprised that they ended the first season pretty abruptly when it came to the main antagonist or whatever, but when it came to season 2, boy, because it took so long for them to do season 2. Now, the reason why season 2 took so long to do was because now I brought up Tyler and Xavier as part of a love triangle with Wednesday in the first season during that first video. But unfortunately, I don't know what kind of stuff this guy was involved in, but apparently the actor who played Xavier or whatever in season 2, or in season 1 I should say, he wasn't able to appear in season 2, so slight spoiler for anyone who hasn't seen season 2 yet. But the character of Xavier Thorpe was basically cut. I mean, he was mentioned throughout the season 2, but he was cut completely from appearing because of the actor had some sort of legal drama happening in the real world, and they apparently didn't want that. So and not to mention, when the actress who plays Wednesday, Jenna Ortega, actually had an executive producer role on this show, especially for season 2. So it sounds to me like she got a lot more power in the development of both her character and most of the Addams family, and it sounds like she's a really big fan of the family, of the Addams family, and their lore. So it makes sense that she tried to help the writers as part of the whole creative process. Now, from what I hear, I correct myself. Season 2 was originally, or season 1 was released in 2022, I believe. Now, they were gonna release it in 2024 once they were done writing the scripts and stuff in 2023 and start filming. But unfortunately, because of the Writers Guild of America strikes and the actor strikes that happened at that time, they did have to push back the development of the show, and that's, I think, when Jenna Ortega got her chance to help executive produce the show and help with the writing process, the development of the characters. And I will say, I'm kind of glad she did, because it seems like season 2 was much more developed than season 1 was. When it came to the characters of Wednesday and Morticia, Gomez, Pugsley, which, speaking of Pugsley, it is already shown in the trailer, but in the season 2, Pugsley now attends Nevermore Academy, which I thought they should have done from the get-go. Maybe the reason why they didn't have Pugsley or even Wednesday in regular schools at least until season 1, was because maybe they just weren't old enough or something. I have no idea, but what I do know is that Pugsley now is at Nevermore, and he becomes friends and roommates with the kid who Wednesday meets in the first season, a young boy named what was his name? Eugene, I think was his name. He was part of this little club at Nevermore with beekeeping, but apparently it's not just bees. He can actually control any kind of animal, any kind of insect, which I thought was interesting. And I still can't get over his one moment in season 1 where he's controlling the bees, and he says the phrase, "That's what you get for messing with Nevermore, bitch." like I'm not kidding. He literally says that word in the first season, which I thought, this is a kid saying that word. How did they allow that to happen? And from what I saw in season 2, it doesn't sound like they made the kid actors actually say any type of bad words or anything like that, like he did in season 1, which I'm thankful that they cut that out from the kid actors especially. But I just thought it was crazy that they even did that with him. But anyway, so without spoiling too much of season 2, the one thing I will say that's a slight spoiler in regards to season 1 is the two there were 2 of 3 villains that survived season 1. One, of course, the one that died was, of course, the founder of Jericho, who got brought back in some supernatural form. But the two villains that survived were actually Laurel Gates, like I mentioned, and also Tyler. Because for those of you who don't know what happened in season 1, again, slight spoilers, but Tyler was revealed to be not just a normie, he was also part Hyde, and he got these genes from his mother, who I think her name was Francois in the first season, and it's revealed that she was a Hyde, and he didn't know about that. Apparently, he was really young when his mom went to her funeral and stuff like that, and the dad was just not wanting to talk about it. Now the dad does come back, but only for a brief time because unfortunately he does get killed off in season 2, which I thought was crazy. But with season 2 of Wednesday, it sort of continues the story of what happened. Like it's short, and yes, it kind of brings back the villain from the first season, the one that's alive at least. Which was Marilyn Thornhill, aka Laurel Gates, and it's actually revealed that it's not. There's a reason why Laurel specifically targeted Tyler in season 1, and we even get a little bit of a backstory with Thing in season 2. Oh, and quite another quick spoiler for season 1 is Laurel Gates, aka Marilyn Thornhill, the actress who played her in season 1 and kind of season 2, I will say, I didn't catch this at first when I first saw season 1, but it turns out that the actress who plays Laurel Gates was actually the original girl who played Wednesday Addams in the first live action movies that we got. Back with and that also had Christopher Lloyd as Uncle Fester, which, speaking of Christopher Lloyd, we also get him in this season. So we had 2 original Addams Family actors come back to make slight appearances in different roles in season 2 of Wednesday and kind of season 1. Now, season 2 with Christopher Lloyd, he does show up as a professor at Nevermore Academy, who apparently has been there for a long time, but he has sort of a connection with Thing in a way because in the show, he is sort of revealed to be like this head in a jar that's just rolling around on a little stool kind of thing. And I thought that was a good way to bring Christopher Lloyd back, is to have him be a professor. But unfortunately, like I said, he sort of also has a small part in what the new villain is up to. So it's actually been so the new villain of season 2 is actually someone who is once again a dead character, but the reason why I bring up Thing, again, try not to spoil anything, but Thing does have a slight connection to the villain in this season, and I want y'all to watch the show for yourselves, but I can tell you right now that the insane twist of what Thing's connection was to the villain of season 2 was insane, and I cannot believe they actually finally gave us Thing's origin story, which we've never gotten, actually. I don't think we got it in the original live-action films. We never got it in the animated films. We finally get it in this series, and I thought that was insane. And like I said, Tyler is back, but again, he still is sort of connected to the new villain of the show, and I thought it was crazy. And who knows what his character arc is going to be like in season 3, because we did sort of get another twist ending that sort of hints at a third season for Wednesday, and I thought, this is incredible, this show. I will admit, Wednesday is like the best show I've ever watched on Netflix. I mean, I know a lot of you are going to be quite shocked at this, but the only show that has been the most popular on Netflix besides Wednesday has been one that I never actually saw myself, and that is, of course, Stranger Things. Yes, I know what you're going to say. How have I not seen Stranger Things, and especially with season 5 supposedly coming out soon? I gotta admit, I didn't know a lot about Stranger Things as growing up, and to be fair, as far as I know, the only kid actor that I know from Stranger Things was actually two kid actors, one of which was Finn Wolfhard, who I know mainly from the Ghostbusters films and also the It films. So I guess that's why he's been so connected to the horror type genre in a way. But and not just him. There was also I can't remember the actor's name, but apparently the guy who plays the kid in the Stranger Things show also had an appearance as one of the main real life characters in the movie Free Guy. He played the character Keys in that show, if I'm not mistaken. So so those are the only two actors I really know from the show, as far as I know. But aside from that, maybe I will go watch Stranger Things eventually. Let me know in the comments if you guys think I should watch Stranger Things to get ready for season 5 when it comes out. But when it comes to Wednesday season 2, again, great show. Definitely a lot more developed with its characters than season 1. And another slight cameo I forgot to mention, it was already all over the news before season 2 even came out. And that was, of course, Lady Gaga, who last time I saw her was, unfortunately, in the sequel to a movie that I really enjoyed, but then the sequel just ended up having to ruin it for me, and that was, of course, Joker Folie à Deux, aka Joker 2, where she played that DC's version of Harley Quinn, or Harley Quinzel. And honestly, they really did her dirty in that show, or in that movie, I should say. But in the show, the way they utilized her in this show, I thought was interesting. I'm not going to say where it was, but I will say it's in the last 4 episodes of season 2, where you will eventually see her. That's the one spoiler I will say about when it comes to Lady Gaga's character showing up, but and I'm really excited to see how season 3 goes. But for now, let me give you my rating of season 2. So, for my rating of season 2, like I said, it was definitely a lot more developed than season 1 was in my mind, and I'm really curious to see how well they do with season 3. And I gotta admit, I actually like this so much more than season 1 that I'm gonna give this one a 4.5 out of 5. Yep, 4.5 out of 5. Definitely a great show, and I cannot wait to see what season 3 holds. But for now, I will see all of you guys in the next video.